What is up, sports fans? Welcome to another episode of Tailgate 956, a sports show that covers sports across the valley and the Lone Star State. And my brother.
Have we got news for you?
Oh,
At least our opinions. Yeah.
As you can tell, we've been in a football mode.
Oh, yeah. Great week.
Oh, it's great week. Finally, yeah, despite week 3.
It was a tough week.
Oh, yeah. But before we get started on that, and also baseball, because Astros.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. How about them Astros?
Oh, yeah, that's another one. Ooh. Before we get started on this chock full of episode, here's a shout out to our sponsors. Apogee Comics, the best in independent comic books. If you're looking for a great read, make your next comic book Apogee. Visit Apogee Comics all throughout social media and on their website at www.apogeecomics.com.
And Rick's Auto Shop for all your auto repair needs.
Located on Indiana Street in Brownsville. Brother.
Well, I mean, tough, but great week.
Oh, yes. Well, let's start off with the great, as we always do. The Houston Astros.
Taking that
division. What did I say at the beginning of the season? What did I say?
Coming from how they started at the beginning of the season, coming from fourth place, jumping all the way up to fourth, getting it done.
They had that infamous last name, the Lastros. Remember that?
Oh my goodness.
Oh man, well that
picking on the team.
Yes. That I don't know. I knew it was a long season, of course. I know we started off. It was rocky, but everyone's new manager Joe Espada. Despite the hiccups that we had throughout this whole season, we managed to fight tooth and nail, blood, sweat, and tears, leaving it out there. Injuries, not injuries, contract negotiations, blah, blah, blah.
And toes.
Oh, yeah, and toes. Yeah, head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Yeah, the whole package. But we managed to get in first place and stay there, baby.
With all the injuries, given all the circumstances, with all the obstacles that were put in their way.
With a tortured pitching staff. I can't get over that. Like that's that just shows, like, once again, I'm gonna say how relentless this team is.
Yeah, kept on coming back. Crawling back, getting up, they took shots. I'm not gonna lie. Fans said it, people said it, all around different, but they kept on getting up, and that's what's important. That they kept on getting up and fighting.
Yes, and we still we finished off the season despite yesterday's game being canceled due to the rain. But we still, either way, even if we would have won or lost, it would have been great for the sweep. But I guess you could say we took a 2-game sweep against the Cleveland Guardians, who were possibly going to face after this wild card matchup against the Detroit Tigers. But, 88 and 73, great season, Astros. Great season.
Great.
And even at that, I hope they re-sign Kikuchi.
Definitely. They definitely need to do that.
Yeah,
I agree.
They definitely need to do that. And honestly, another little floating cloud over the Astros dugout, Alex Bregman.
I really do hope they do.
That's one that a lot of us Astros fans and other Astros fans have been concerned since the season started. Even before the season, they have been doing is he stay? What's gonna happen? The negotiating stopped because they're concentrated on the season. And the last game he had over there at Minute Maid Park against the Mariners, they pulled him out. They gave him a standing ovation, well deserved for all his accomplishments, that he's had with the team and whatnot. Besides, despite the rockiness that he had this season, but a lot of people are speculating that this might be it as as an Astro for Alex Bregman, which I hope not. I hope not. And I hope the upper management staff, can see that, read the room, or in this case, read the dugout, read the whole,
read everybody,
read the Astros fan base and everybody that, hey, you know what, maybe we should negotiate, give him a similar contract, or if not the same contract as Jose Altuve, and keep him as an Astro until he retires. Because even at that, Jose Altuve was quote saying that he's confident about the ownership and the front office and the coaches getting together and putting a great contract together for him, making him, an Astros,
and that's a lot coming from Altuve and putting a little bit more pressure on the front office to reconsider if they were even thinking about letting him go.
Oh, exactly, and then the leadership that he also brings too. Not only that, as well as Alex Bregman, because he was there for the series titles throughout the whole ups and downs. That was he's been with the team,
and he performed really well this season. I mean,
it wasn't something start.
Like wow, but you know what, he did his part and he did good.
Yeah, and honestly, I think it would be dumb. And I'm saying as a baseball fan and as an Astros fan, it'd be dumb if the office, Dana Brown, whoever's in charge, giving out the paychecks, contract negotiations of letting this player go.
Yeah, that's agreeable. That's something that I believe a lot of people agree with you.
Because he brings a lot to the table.
Yeah.
He brings a lot to the table. And it's going to show tomorrow.
Because who's going to be able to replace what he brings to the table?
No, what he has brought to the table. You know what I mean? Because he's had a hand in helping this team get to where it's at. Everybody has a piece to put into this puzzle of a solid team.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. You can't. I mean, sometimes determination is something that you can't find in every player.
No, definitely. And I know he's a determined player. He loves being a Nashville, and he loves being with his team. And we're 88 and 73. We ended the season on 88 and 73, and he has a place for bringing the team to that area.
He's part of the reason why
he's part of the reason for that area.
The record. No. Props. Honestly, and I agree. I couldn't agree with you more. Mm-hmm. I'm sure fans all over, Astros fans, agree with you as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I honestly hope they resign him and Kikuchi.
Definitely, I give you Kikuchi. They need to, that boy. They need to sign him.
Yeah, despite that, that last game he did solid. That last game against the Mariners. Although I always felt that he was like the good luck charm. Although, yes, but despite despite the games that he's pitched, we won each one when he's pitched.
Yeah,
that one I felt that was kind of like, okay, they're resting everybody because a hard game against the Guardians came up. Which, by the way, we won that series. Woo, yay! But I feel that they were resting them up because postseason's coming. And postseason playoffs. World Series bound. I'm confident that we're going the distance.
No, I mean it definitely deserved. I mean, how many games has he already played for us? I mean, you put too much weight on that good luck charm, I guess, this time. I think it was pushed too much to the limit. I know he's a good. I think he will continue to be a good luck charm.
Yeah,
I just think that let's not push our luck either.
Oh well, yeah. That was one. Yeah, that was one that was pushed too.
That was pushed a little too hard.
Yeah, a little too hard. But so either way,
he did his part. He still did his part.
Yeah,
he did.
Definitely,
he did his outs and he did what he needed to do. Unfortunately, towards the end of the game is where everything really hit the fan.
Yeah. But it's all right. It's all right. Either way, these two games against the Guardians, Justin Verlander showed up during that game.
Yeah, finally, I was like, where was that?
Yeah, I'm like, that's my boy, JV. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We ended up dominating. We ended up dominating the Guardians, but I was worried. I'm like, this could be a preview later on in the playoffs. I'm like, let's see how our boys do. And hey, the Astros came, they showed up, and they put a whooping on them, and I'm glad so. I am glad that we won those two games. Now tomorrow's game is what has me like, ooh,
what's gonna happen?
Yeah, because this is a totally different team. Two totally different teams. You know what I mean? Back when we faced the Detroit Tigers back, and let's see what's going back towards.
I believe we were talking about it earlier, June.
Back in June. It was back in June. Yes, right here. We lost one game out of that series. It was 13-5. Yeah, that was a painful. That was a painful
loss.
Yeah, but we won. Every time we faced them, the two times we faced them this season, we won
So
the
stats
series.
pool our side.
So that the odds on our favor, yes, they are.
Now, I mean, like you said, it's a different team. It was at the beginning of the year.
Mm.
Now it's the end of the. I mean, sorry, the beginning of the season. Now it's the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, we need to go ahead and still just be a little bit more aware and still be cautious. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. And I feel that this little buy that happened, this little despite this whole rain delay that happened that pretty much canceled the game. I felt that I guess it was a little buy that we had, the little resting up players, getting together, getting the mindset, stunning film, like pretty much just getting ready to face
You
these
think
Tigers.
it's a positive?
I think it was a positive. I think it was a blessing in disguise.
For some teams, it's positive.
Yeah,
Some teams, it's negative.
Yeah. But in this case, resting players, resting injuries. Jordan Alvarez, despite that knee injury he had, I hope he'll be ready tomorrow. Or if not, hey,
as soon as can be.
As soon as can be. Because those knee injuries, there's nothing to joke about. There's nothing to joke about.
Tell me about it. No. Tell me about it. Injuries left and right.
Same thing with McCormick, though. He hasn't been so much, but hey, we need all the help we can get, definitely.
No, yeah, I agree.
Yeah. But hey, despite all that, hey, we clinched the division and we proved a lot of haters wrong. And those that were talking, chirping.
Hey.
Who's the last shows now?
Who's the last one laughing?
Yeah, exactly. And I can't wait, and I'm pretty sure you can't wait for tomorrow's game.
Oh, no, I can't. I cannot. Man, those Astros.
Solid, my brother. Solid. But now on
gridiron.
To the gridiron.
Well, I mean, it was a good week. It was just all over the field. I don't know. Who do we start with?
Let's start with week 3.
Okay.
Because I don't know what happened to our teams in week 3. Honestly, I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you this much. I mean, I don't know what the Cowboys, at least in my perspective, all game long disappeared. Here comes the fourth quarter, 8 minutes to go. Oh yeah, let's play like there's like we should have all game, and they picked up. I mean, I just don't know. I mean, they picked up 28 points like that quick.
Yeah.
How is that? Like, why couldn't? What was that all game long?
Yeah.
Another thing that I just cannot get over. I think I mentioned this in a little bit. I touched the topic in our sports bites.
Yeah.
But I am constantly furious at commentators that are defending Dak, even for that game. Yeah, he came back in the fourth quarter late, but why did he come back until the fourth quarter?
Yeah.
Now, people are blaming consistently and putting all the blame. Commentators are constantly saying it's the defense. It's not Dak. It's the defense. It's not Dak. Okay. I got two things that make me, and this is why I put the blame on Dak. Apart from the $6 million that he's winning, because apart from Lamb winning what he's winning, CD, the offense winning, players are winning a lot more than the defense is. So I mean, they're the ones that should be more under the hot seat to produce more.
Yeah.
Forget that. Is that why are commentators commenting about Joe Burrow being the reason why the Bengals lose? I mean, and they can't do that for Dak. Why is it Joe Burrow's fault when he has even less weapons than Dak does?
Yeah.
On top of that, you have less weapons, going back to the pay that our offense gets paid. He has less weapons than even Dak does, but they put the blame on Joe Burrow. Oh, but not Dak's fault.
Yeah.
That's one big thing. I don't agree with that. And Joe Burrow is the greatest example that I have because he's the one that everybody knows who that is. Everybody understands. I think that's why I like. There's a lot more quarterbacks that they blame when they lose. Like, you know what I mean? Like now the Eagles are blaming Hurts too. I always thought Hurts was not. Yeah, I agree that he was not a good quarterback. But nonetheless, everybody had him at a high pedestal, and now they're blaming him. Why? Okay, why don't you blame Dak? Okay, another thing. When an offense scores a touchdown, I guess that's what you measure the success of the offense, right? I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, what would be the equal to that of the success when or successful about the defense? What would be successful like that? Stopping a play. Okay, at the beginning, yeah, they led a 2 scoring drive with Jacksonville, which again, we get the ball back those 2 times too.
Yeah.
Dak didn't score anything on those 2 drives. Finally, the defense stopped was stopping the offense. Our defense was stopping the offense, stopping Jackson, and our offense still could not produce anything. Could not still produce nothing.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, our defense got again, like what always happens. They got tired, or they lost the motivation because our offense wasn't producing anything or wasn't on the field at all.
Yeah.
And then what happens? They start losing it. But what did I say on week 2 on our show? That if they would have sparked the offense would have sparked something of signal of life, a touchdown, would have motivated the defense. And guess what happened on the fourth quarter? Even though they were already beat, even though they still stopped them in between the games, defense they stopped them before. They still came back and stopped them enough for Dak to keep scoring and stop the offense from them scoring, so they won't pass us even further than what we needed to catch up.
Yeah.
And what I don't like is that at the end of at the last play, at the last drive, it was up to the defense, and because they didn't stop that kind of an offense, which is I think it's one of the hardest offense.
Yeah.
When you got a running back run, a quarterback that can run, and they're both great runners, and you don't know who's gonna get the ball.
Yeah.
That's a hard that's hard to defend in my point. That's one of the hardest offense to defend.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they didn't stop them that time.
No.
And everybody's blaming the defense because of that. I'm sorry. I put into more success. The defense stopped the offense more than the times that the offense, Dak specifically, was giving to go ahead and score. That to me is what doesn't equal. And they still blame the defense more. And I'm saying more, or at least putting all the blame on the defense instead of Dak. When he's the leader, he's the quarterback, and he's getting paid the big bucks to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what made me so angry, and still continues to anger me now. That was week 3 for me in my point of view on Jacksonville. And still, I'm gonna be honest with you, I still don't.
Jackson.
Oh, the Raven was Jackson, but it was the Ravens. Yeah. Sorry if I said it wrong.
Yeah.
But even then, can you honestly, even in my opinion, I cannot honestly say that the Ravens are that much better than us, given that the score and that in 8 minutes we did what they took them all game long to do.
Yeah.
Almost. Yeah, by a field goal. Unfortunately, by a field goal. But nonetheless, in 8 minutes, we were able to accomplish that. Imagine if I don't understand why.
No, that's what if you would apply that to earlier in the game, because I caught the game like earlier on.
Yeah,
it was train wreck. It was a train. I don't know what it is that's been going on with the Cowboys that a lot of people think, oh no, they're frauds. Although yes, you have the haters that they've always been frauds.
It's always gonna be. It's always gonna be.
But the whole thing of the fraud, what I mean by that with the frauds is that this season supposedly was gonna be different. Different. And for some reason, a lot of people say it's a lot worse.
Yeah, it is. No, but that's what I said at the beginning of the season. It was gonna be a lot. It's more. This was the most questionable season of the Cowboys the beginning.
Yeah,
this was the most questionable.
It's been up in the air. Like you can tell something's off, but it's like barely finding itself.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, I honestly say this past game that happened this Thursday Night Football, when they faced against the Giants. It showed I'm like, okay, like it's.
Well, I did honestly the way the defense was against. I was afraid of Singletary, because Singletary is no joke. I mean, we saw what he did for Houston last season. Last season he produced great numbers and he came up big. So he's no joke. He's no joke, and he still made good yardage. But we were able to contain him. Singletary, Jones and Neighbors. I mean, I'm sorry, Jones. I don't know if Neighbors made him play good, but or Jones having one good weapon made it possible. I felt bad for Neighbors. He just he was out there by himself, and man, he fought tooth and nails against our defense.
Yeah.
So props to Neighbors. I mean, I give him props. He got injured a little. I think in one of the plays that he even caught the ball too bad. It was too outside, But nonetheless, he played really good. I give props to Neighbors for that game.
Yeah. No, that play that I saw. I know what play you were talking about. The one that we caught it out. That would imagine he would have cut that inbounds. That would have been a total.
It was too far out, but I'll tell you this much: he looked like he made it possible. At all angles, he tried to do as much as he could.
It was out of bounds. It was practically like inbound.
I mean, you can tell that guy.
That's how good it was.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Man, that guy is gonna be a good receiver. He's gonna be elite. He's gonna be elite, at least from what he shows right now.
Yeah.
Hopefully, they don't burn him out too fast and leave him high and dry out there by himself.
Yeah.
They need to go ahead and help him out, other receivers, and get the Giants rolling. Yeah. I mean, they got a good running back. They got Singletary. I think with him, they're good, at least in the back. They need to focus now on the receivers, at least in my point. Not to help him out, I mean, whatever. But I'm not gonna lie, I did feel bad for Neighbors. He was doing all the work out there, and he was making stuff happen for the Giants. Now, going with all the penalties, I mean, oh my God, and please, people, really, oh my God, they can't let that face mask go. One thing.
Don't get me started on penalties, Ovita. Oh man, penalties.
Yes. Oh my God. What did they have against the Texas teams this week? But going back, I mean, honestly, this game, I cannot give props to the Cowboys in any way, but I can't take away either because the refs controlled the game most of it. So before I hear, they took away a touchdown from the Giants because of the face mask. Get over it. They took away I don't know how many from us and how many drives, how many on defense and offense because of penalties. They showed Thomason and Follett. Okay, the tackle for New York, they were like, the commentator was like, oh, he's been covering Parsons so well. In the both highlights that they showed, he was holding Michael Parsons.
Yeah.
And they were saying he had his arm around his neck, and they said, what a great job he's been doing all night. Really?
Yeah.
Really? And then on the other side, Cooks, there was 2 plays that they showed on the replay, because they showed more than that. But on 2 of the plays that they threw him the ball, there was pass interference. And they didn't call none of that.
They didn't call it, no.
So I mean, here, and then they gave the corner, the cornerback, Follett. Yeah, it was Follett. They gave him the props that he was covering Cook so well. I'm like, so come on. And the replays, I mean, it was right there on the replays.
Yeah.
You cannot negate it. It was right there. And all the other on holding calls left and right, everybody holds. They were holding Parsons. Everybody holds. It's just the refs, whoever they want to call it on. And I'm sorry, they were throwing it to keep containment of the ball game, to keep us. Because in all honesty, we should have scored again 40 some odd points.
Yeah. And
if the refs wouldn't have kept on getting in the way of that, it honestly would have happened. But you know what? The calls were almost fair, all of them. Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
But what I mean by fair, and what I'm arguing is that, hey, do it to both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
Don't just do it to us, because the Giants were obviously holding too. They were obviously holding on almost every play against Parsons. That was just clearly, and on the replays, nonetheless, not only on the film, on the plays that you would see on live. On the replays, you would be able to see it. I mean, honestly, almost Parsons gets holded. I see him get hold almost all the time that he doesn't penetrate. Almost all the time.
Yeah.
And then there was one play that you brought up that we were talking about earlier that hip tackle.
The hip tackle, yes, yes. The one that took out Parsons, yes.
Exactly. Okay, that one did irritate me because, like you said, that kind of tackle injures players, and supposedly they're getting very rough on that.
They didn't say anything. They didn't count anything.
And that would have put us way over the top, and on that they would have moved us up really well, and would have completely turned the game around, obviously.
Yeah, definitely.
But they wanted to keep it a close game for the same reason. So I can't blame that we didn't do so well or so bad on either side, because they really messed with both offense and defense. But so I can't really give them really props, but I really think the refs need to, you know what, you're gonna call it, fine, call it on both sides though.
Yeah.
Don't just be calling it on ours, because almost like I said, holding, everybody and any fan, any team knows that offensive linemen hold every play.
Yeah.
At least one of them.
Yeah.
Minimum one.
Yeah.
Everybody knows it. It's just the refs who didn't want to call it on.
It like I said, it was a good win. It was rough despite all that was going on. It was rough.
Yeah, it was a bad win. It was a bad win.
It was a bad win. It was bad, but it was still a win. Yeah, nasty. Yeah,
it was
nasty. Yeah, definitely. But you know what? Like, despite that, I'm glad that they won. They proved a point, and hopefully this upcoming next game, which is who are they going to face next up?
On week 5, we're up against. Let me just make sure. The Steelers, Steelers.
Okay,
they've been doing pretty well.
I have to say, when it comes to Justin Fields and the Steelers, I think it's a great addition. Shout out Esteban, because he's a big Steelers fan. He watches our show, but he's a big Steelers fan. Either way, it's all right. Either way, it's a lovely game, as well as us.
No, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. If this is not one of the most watched games of at least minimum this week, if not of the season.
Yeah.
Because Steelers and Cowboys are one of the biggest rivalries.
Yeah.
So I would be very surprised if this broadcast is not on the one of the top parts.
Yeah. Well, I totally agree with you on that. But yeah, he's a big fan of the show. So shout out again. Justin Fields is a great addition to that team, and it showed that the Chicago Bears weren't utilizing that quarterback at all. And you can tell by the way they performed. They lost the last game, but I think they lost it by barely. They barely lost.
No, but that's besides the. I mean, hey, we all have bad days. We all have bad games. But you could the thing that you see is like you said, above all, we're saying last season that Justin Fields is a good quarterback. That like you just said right now, they weren't utilizing him well.
Yeah.
And I do see, because I feel like the opportunities were not there for him in Chicago. He wasn't able to do anything. We didn't really get to see who Justin Field is until now.
Until now. And I feel that remember that rumor? Remember that rumor back in the day? Little cheese McCowboy session. That supposedly he wanted to go with the Cowboys.
Oh yeah, they tried some trade.
Yeah. They ended up falling through.
Yeah.
Totally missed opportunity. I have to say, the way, and even at that, Pittsburgh, great addition to your team. It's going to be one heck of a game. Tell you that much.
The problem is now that I don't know what to believe in on any of those rumors if they were even a bit true, because he's signed here for 4 more years. You know what I mean? Godly. I mean, I think
that was a panic buy. Honestly, I don't know. At this point, I think it was a panic buy.
I don't know. Did Jones just do it because nobody else really wanted him, or what? Because commentators say that he goes in the market, everybody wants him. Everybody wants that.
Supposedly,
I would love that to see. I would really love to see, because if he does go on the market, who would be a team that would pick him up? I'm gonna be honest and say the Raiders do need him, because they need somebody. But they've been doing pretty decent. I mean, to be honest, they've been doing pretty decent. But the only team that I would say would actually really, really, really need him would be the Raiders. I don't see any other team really going for him. But then again, I don't think the Raiders can pay him what the six, or close to anything of what he wants.
Yeah. Well, I'm telling you, the amount they're paying him in the position that we're in right now, or the Cowboys, in first place in the NFC East. The Commanders are in first place with 3-1. and the Cowboys are in second place with 2-2.
That is surprising from the beginning of the season, but in all honesty, Commanders have been doing really well.
Yeah,
Their quarterback,
surprisingly,
their quarterback is doing really well. Their quarterback is doing well, winning games. The what quarterback should do, a leader, winning games out there. I do give him props. I do give him props. The only one that I do get mad at, I get mad at when they give props to people, to teams that I'm like, oh, come on, no. Like, why? Like, everybody's giving the Eagles props. I'm like, dude, they're probably worse at minimum the same as at the level as us.
Yeah.
At the minimum of us. You're not better. You're either worse or at our level. At the same, you're not any better. Now, the Commanders have been doing well. They started off slow. I will say
they did,
but nonetheless, they're where they're at right now.
It's been a different sheet games with those.
Yes.
But hey, 3-1.
But that's the thing. You see, that's the whole thing. He's able to get wins, and whether he played against good teams or bad, the point is that kid was able, like you said, is able to get the wins out of those games. And the reason why I still give him props is because he's a rookie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's still, he's still learning. He's still getting the field of that position, and he's able to do that. He's able to go ahead and do that. Again, I'll be looking at him more closely. The same thing I said about Stroud. It's where the season 2 is where it pulls off. Where you really see how good of a quarterback he really is.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, right now, ride the momentum, and I do give the Commanders props what they're doing. I mean, hey, what was this? What did they? 44 points land against the Cardinals, I believe.
Yeah. It was the Cardinals. Yeah,
it was the Cardinals.
Yeah,
44 points. 42-14.
Yeah.
I mean, against the Cardinals, and the Cardinals were an upcoming too.
Yeah.
Now, everybody was talking about the Cardinals, how good they were doing. So that's right there is not a whatever team, apparently. Even people were saying that they were doing well. So, I mean, I got to give them props. I am eager to face them. We'll see how we do. And, I mean, they're in our division, so we need to get it done nonetheless.
Yeah.
But, I give props to the Commanders. I give props to the Commanders, and right now they deserve to be in that number 1 spot.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Hey, half glass full. We're above the Eagles and Giants. So.
Well, you see, that's what I'm telling you. The Eagles are the same record as us, but in all honesty, what I see is that they've been doing.
We performed a lot better. A lot better.
The ones that are just another team that's shocking me is the Saints.
Yeah.
What happened? But then we go back to the same thing. We go back to everything. We go back to what I've always said. You know what it shows to me that the Saints did is that they prepared for the Cowboys. They prepared themselves to play us.
Yeah.
They didn't do the same thing on a week-to-week basis with the next team. They prepared against us. And they wanted to make us look bad. Okay, fine, they did. But look, I mean, where's all that?
Yeah.
Where's all that stuff? Where's all that thing? Carr, I expected better from him. And I do believe he is better than that. But they're starting to look like their last season.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? But you know what? It is what it is. It's a past game, unfortunately. But that's the tough thing about being a Cowboys fan and also the Cowboys. Teams prepare just for you.
Yeah.
They play their best with you.
Yeah.
They play their best. They're always prepared for you. And that's the tough part. That's what a lot of people, a lot of commentators, they don't look at, they don't talk about it, they don't do that. All their fans, they don't admit it.
No, they don't.
They will not admit it, even though they see it.
They'd rather lose a leg.
Than see it.
Yeah.
And they and I mean, it is shown time and time again. Look at the Seahawks. Even last season, they played crappy. They played us. Oh my God, where was that all season? They played a very good game.
Yeah, they did
last season. And man, where was that?
That's true.
It's true. Where was that?
Yeah,
where was that? And but it from time to time again, it always goes that teams play us at their best. They prepare for us, and you know what? Yeah, that's the bad thing about being a Cowboys fan and a Cowboys team. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
and that's what we need as a team need to be ready for.
No, definitely, and I feel that we will be ready soon enough. Like we will.
Well, I mean, I still see a lot of cooking, but a lot of promising, a lot of new blood, especially since with all the injuries. This it causes a lot of injuries, and
Okay, here I think yeah. I was worried about that, but then I think okay, it's like a little mini bye, since that was a Thursday night football game. They have a
yeah,
lot of time to recover. Give it a lot of days. Was Thursday, and you allowed for thinking Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Though up
yeah.
until Sunday, I mean, he might he'll
The
still
best
be at
chance to
practice.
be able to play,
Yeah. I feel Mike will
but
probably be back.
I like Lawrence is out.
Oh, I know he's out.
And
What was his injury? What was Lawrence's injury?
I don't know what his injury was particular. I don't think they've really specifically said
Hmm.
what it was. But I know that they said that they were gonna go ahead and see. But I
Oh
know
yeah,
that
he was gonna be out for like a multiple weeks.
yeah, they just said that that's all that I remember that they said.
Oh wait, it was a
Because
knee.
they
It was,
didn't.
I think it was a knee injury. I think was it a knee injury or was it a foot?
I don't know the extent of it. I know it was his leg,
Yeah.
but I don't really know particularly if it was his knee or his ankle.
Mm-hmm.
Because when he went out, it looked like he was around his leg area, just his ankle more.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But I'm not too sure. The one that was his leg was Michael Parsons because
Yeah.
his knee
That
because
was the high ankle sprain.
yeah, like really, like yeah, like it was around there. It was more, and him is the one that I was kind of more worried about because it did look really nasty.
Yeah.
It didn't look on purpose. So I mean, that's fine.
And even that he got knocked around dirty during that game too.
Well, they always like to double sock and pop him.
Yeah,
And like
yeah.
somebody's like holding him or
Yeah.
has him right there, and somebody comes in.
Because
And hits
earlier
him.
on, like they had taken him out of the game just to see if he was concussed, which he probably was, but probably likely. But hopefully he comes back this Sunday, or if not next week, and it's not like a long time
Yeah,
needed.
I feel Parsons will probably be back or more faster or at a better situation than Lawrence.
Yeah, determination, knowing him, will probably be back this Sunday.
Oh, dude, that guy will probably play injured.
Yeah.
But no, I don't want that
Yeah,
because
we
you
don't
know
want
what I
that
mean.
either. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
There's a lot of talks about him like being fed up already, and I understand him, but I mean I don't know. We'll see where that goes.
Not fed up with the team, just fed up with the situation. Yeah, he's frustration,
It's
which
one-
which a lot of players.
I think it's a lot of, but I mean I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say already. I at that point, a lot of questions go up in the air, a lot of situations. I don't know. I still me in my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
Dak is the problem.
Mm.
Dak is the problem.
Mm.
And like I said, and I said before, yeah, he goes with another team, he might win. If he wins a Super Bowl ring,
Yeah.
I'll be surprised. But because we already know what he's not capable of
Yeah.
and what he's capable of.
Mhm.
Yeah, he can get you wins. And he'll probably beat us if he goes against us for a while because we're still going to be looking out and it's going to take a while for us to get a QB.
Yeah.
But that's not surprising. I mean, that happens to a lot of teams when they look at Carr, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
Like they said the same thing. They needed to prepare somebody before they got rid of him.
Yeah.
But, I'm all for that. I'm ready. I'm ready to move on. And yes, I'm ready to have a bad season or two to find our QB because, like I said, we already know where we're at. We already know what he's capable of and what he's not capable of.
Mm-hmm.
And I still don't believe this is one of his worst seasons, and I believe this is gonna be one of his worst seasons, and it's looking like it's not like the other seasons.
Yeah, it's been a bumpy season. That's kind of like, how can I say this? Like the Cowboys season so far has been kind of up in the air. Like, it's gonna be a good season? Are we looking at playoffs? Are we looking at playoff? Or are we looking at getting eliminated before the playoffs? Where the Cowboys
where we at?
Like the Cowboys haven't landed on the momentum or on the spot. Be like, okay, you know what? This team is gonna go this far, or this team is like, oh, this team's a blowout. See you next season, like always, Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, and you see that's the thing. It's like this one has been more questionable than others,
Mm-hmm.
and you know what? Yeah, and rightfully so. I mean, so I don't know. I really don't know. I still put it all on him because the QB should be able to do at least his part minimum
Yeah.
as a leader,
Mm,
do his part, and not do mistakes, not throw interceptions,
mm,
win ball games.
mm,
When the game's on the line,
mm.
not try to come back 8 minutes left in the game
Yeah.
when you could have had the rest of how an hour? We have an hour,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But we'll go ahead and see what the future brings to the Cowboys. And
Mm.
you know what? Maybe this might be the worst season ever, but maybe we pull it off. Maybe he's finally able to pull it off after so many years,
No.
and maybe shut my mouth and win the Super Bowl this year.
The Hail Mary pass, as they say. Little football riff.
I don't know. I'm still waiting for that. I'm still waiting for him to prove me wrong.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of Dallas Cowboys fans, and myself included as well, we're waiting for that pull off. Oh man, but you know who's haven't been pulling off when it comes to penalties? The Houston Texans.
Hey,
Uh.
you guys beat us. You had 12 penalties. We had 11.
Oh yay, yay, oh yay. Oh man, those are week 3 with the Houston Texans. All right, like I don't. The Minnesota Vikings. What are they feeding you guys up there? I don't know. It's so fun. 7-34. 7-34 was a score. Like honestly, I was shocked, along with other Houston fans were shocked as well. Like, yeah, you take them. I honestly thought this game was in the bag, but the amount of penalties that were committed, that pushed us back.
It did not help.
The offensive line crumbling, and not helping CJ Stroud find a
Giving
spot.
him the time.
Yeah, giving him the time. Like it was hard. It was a hard game to watch. And that Sam Darnold, he mopped the floor with us.
The defense, I think the Texas defense needs to tighten up more.
Oh yeah, no, the defense and offense, and I don't know, like have you seen the movie Man on Fire? Yeah. Remember that like where before the girl jumps into the swimming pool and he's like doing the little brick thing,
Oh yeah.
It releases you, then you jump. It releases you. They need to do that with Laramie Tunsil because how many penalties? It gives me a headache. It gives me a headache the amount of penalties that he committed for that team. Like if you were to make a drinking game out of it, you would have been like gone. You would have been in happy hour before halftime. But honestly, that was a hard game to watch, and you feel like the amount of penalties that he committed. It might work out in week 4 when we went up against the Jaguars. Hey, division rivals. All right, Trevor Lawrence. Shootout from last season. Let's go down. Totally different CJ Stroud. You know what I mean? Let's go down. No, still same amount.
Oh, you got to win there at least. It was
a rough win. It was a rough, but that score should have been way different.
Well,
score should have way.
I will tell you. I believe that in Houston they tried the same thing that they did in against the Dallas Cowboys in New York.
Yeah.
They wanted to keep the ball game low, and they kept on pulling. I remember this drive that the Houston Texans were going. They were, I think, in the 20-yard line. The 10-yard line was what's it called? They're already close to the 20 yards to the end zone, and 10-yard line was the first down. And they kept on giving him penalties and moving him back. And then they're already on third down, and then they give him another penalty. So they had 25, I think, or 20 yards to go for a first down.
Yeah.
And then they were third down, and then they got the first down. And then they called a penalty on them, and then on top of that, they went for it, and they still got the first down.
Yeah,
I was like, no matter what, I like that about that though, because that showed determination, and Stroud was able to come back constantly. Hey, you want to go ahead and play like that? Fine. Let's go. Let's get it done.
And that's the thing. Yeah, the magic plays, and that's what I told you. That's what I told you last season, and even before the season even freaking started. Stroud is the kind of guy who's a clutch quarterback. He's a clutch quarterback. He's the reason why I became a bigger Texans fan than I was originally.
He's doing his part. He's definitely doing his part. But there's the part where you go and he's like, okay, hey, you can't just depend on Stroud. Everybody needs to do their part.
Yeah.
And that I'm talking when we're talking. I guess we both agreed on that. that the offensive line needs to protect them more.
Protect them. You saw that they crumbled like wet paper.
Exactly.
They crumbled like wet paper, and they came after him. He can only do so much, but hey, you got a whole he barely have like a half a second to get that ball going.
You need to give your QB a minimum 3 to 4 seconds.
Yeah,
minimum.
And you seen it too. You seen it during that.
Someone's already after him.
Yeah, they were already after him.
Yeah.
And for a guy like Laramie Tunsil, they're like, boom. You think you would be itchy enough to protect them, but no. But even despite that, because they made some amazing plays.
They did. Yeah, they did.
But they kept on tripping their own foot because of those freaking penalties. But hey, despite that, half glass full, through all that mess, there's a shining light though, because Nico Collins set a Houston Texans franchise record where throughout these 4 games of 489 yards, dude.
Yeah.
What did that say? What did that? No, like it's known. Like that's how many he set off, and that speaks volumes as well too. And despite having one of our main dudes Dixon out and mixing out and Dell, like that says a lot.
I was like, without Dell, I was like, a little worried about them a little bit.
Yeah.
And well, definitely Mixon. Because we said it at the beginning, if he has to come in, it's not going to be, the running game has slowed down as you can see.
Yeah.
So that's on top of that, even more pressure on Stroud.
Yeah, but when it comes to Akers, Collins, Diggs, and Ogabawale, I think I said his name correctly. Ogabawale, yeah. Either way, we ended up winning the game.
For as a receiver or your running back?
I believe
because your running back should be what's his name? For last year's running back.
Yeah,
Pierce.
No.
Pierce, he was out too.
He was out too. Yeah.
I didn't even know he was out too, man. Jesus. Well.
Yeah, thanks to him as well.
Well, so you guys were playing with that. That's why the running game slowed down a lot.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah,
I didn't know you guys were playing with your third string already.
Yeah. Well, so I'm telling you, like, hopefully next week's a different story. Mixon will be back, and we'll be on fire once again.
Mixon was,
and hopefully Laramie, like Thunder, will maybe stop committing penalties. For one of the most offensive tackle, highest paid offensive tackle,
they need to practice with that boy.
Yeah, they need to get him in the room. Like, okay, what's the problem? Because he said, you know what, like, I need to talk with the refs. See, like, what's considered a penalty, bro?
Don't move, man.
Don't move before the whistle. Just stay in place.
Don't move until the ball moves.
Yeah, you had that little itchy trick finger, like, hey man, go, like, make sure, when it's happening, okay, go, yeah. That's when you start,
I mean, maybe they should, but it's because the thing is that it's already become so much with changes of plays, changes of huts.
Yeah.
On how much you say, on what call, because there's different calls already. I mean, it was used to be hut. Now, I mean, there's different, like, here we go.
Yeah.
Maybe so much things
maybe
already.
Maybe Shawty's didn't work on a catchphrase.
Well, I guess that's what I was going to tell you.
Yeah.
And then, work on how many, on what call or what amount of times that they're going to go ahead and go for it. Maybe they need to start off slow and then ease up to go ahead and get that running, if that's what helps. You know what I mean? On the fourth call, on the third one, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's so many. It's because it's already become so very complicated on different plays to go ahead and change plays on the quarterback. It does make it complicated for the offensive line, but they need to be a lot more, strict with themselves.
Yeah, definitely. And was it? I seen like the post interview, like DeMarco Ryan's talking to his team. He's like, "Oh, whatever it takes. You did so and so, whatever it takes. You guys did amazing." I'm all like, "Man, like, yeah, they did amazing, But like when the whole whatever it takes and all that, hey, dude, like at the same time, whatever it takes is also hurting your team as well too, because those penalties, like that,
they add up.
They add up. We're week 4. Freddie, week 4, and we have the most penalties in the NFL of all the other teams.
Well, we're not far behind.
No, that's the thing. But like those are like questionable calls with you. Us, they're solid. There's video footage like of those penalties.
Well, offsides is, I mean, what's it called? When you move. Is it off? No, not offsides.
False start.
False start.
Yeah,
False
false
starts
start,
are
yeah.
a little bit hard. Like they're harder to call or say. Oh, that's not. Yeah. False starts are usually pretty much clear.
Yeah, and
But I will say, I mean, considering, you need to be you're a professional. You played all your life. You
yeah,
need to be more stricter
yeah,
with
yeah.
yourself.
Hey, then you're one of the highest paid offensive tackle that you like. He's one of the highest paid. That contract always. You want to earn that contract. You want to speak these volumes.
Don't cost your team.
Don't cost your team that many penalties, man. You're putting more stress on the quarterback and more stress on the rest of the team, probably causing an injury. You know what I mean?
And that's the problem with penalties. That adds more stress, so you get to push yourself even more. And not only that, with Stroud right now, like we said, the line that he has right now. On top of that, the running, he's on a third string running back. Dell's out. You know what? Hey, dude, that puts a lot of pressure.
It puts a lot of pressure. It puts a lot of pressure. Yeah. Despite the win, great, we won. Because like it was a a nasty win, of course, but it's a lot better than how they performed against Minnesota.
Yeah, definitely.
But the win's a win. Yes, okay, like whatever it takes. Yeah, fine. But if you want to get to the caliber of making it to the show, making it to the Super Bowl, something has to change, and those penalties have to stop.
You need to get more on the
ball, offensive line and defensive. You need to get more on the ball,
and especially this week, you guys play the Bills.
Yeah.
You got the Bills. That's gonna cost you a lot, and you see that's the thing with like going back to the Vikings game. Look at what it cost you. Could have cost you a lot more, like a momentum, maybe a spark there to catch up and to be a little bit more far on the board. You know what I mean? And things like that do cut off your momentum and stop it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the spotlight's huge right now on Houston. It's huge. Yeah, like once again, yeah, I said that as a rivalry of like, oh, maybe they're the new Texas team and all that. But at the same time, a lot of people kind of agree as well when the whole, who is the top Texas team between the Cowboys and the Houston Texans. Hey, if the Houston Texans want to be the top team and all that, something needs to change, offensive and defensive wise.
I think that's going to come up right now in the Bills. I know they did lose in week 4. In week 4, the Bills did lose. I believe they did. The Bills. Let me check real quick.
I think the Bills fell short, actually.
Yeah, they did fall short. Why am I not seeing them here? Oh, I'm sorry, right here.
Yeah, no, that
against the Ravens.
Against the Ravens, yeah.
The Bills fell 35-10. I know they did lose on week 4, and it wasn't a pretty sight either. But I believe that this is another chance for the Texans to show who they are against the Bills. This is another chance for them to go ahead and show. Because I think Bills is a good team.
Yeah, they are.
And
they are.
And them beating them will go ahead and set off. Like, okay, we're ready. We're good. We're doing this. We're contenders. We're not only beating, teams that we should. We're beating teams that are top tier. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And I believe, you know what, the Bills are going to be a tough team to go ahead and overcome, and that this is a good week for you guys to show them, to show that we're ready for the playoffs.
Yeah, definitely.
We're playoff contenders, and we want to win. No, definitely. With the Cowboys this week too. Well, God knows how they're going to do against the Steelers. I mean, they've been doing really well. The Steelers also have been kind of up and down, but I do believe they've been more consecutive than even us. Their offense has been clicking a lot more than our offense and defense. Our defense, I don't know where's I think the start is where they've been having their problems, but. I mean, they need to get something going.
Yeah.
And they started clicking a little bit all over the field, but I really, they need to start like that from the beginning.
Yeah.
Both offense and defense. Because offense hasn't started either way either. Yeah. They haven't started scoring too. We got the ball first against the I believe the Ravens too, and because we didn't get it against the Giants, but we wanted to make a statement. Hey, this is us.
We're solid.
So it was up to the offense to make that stand, and they weren't able to.
Yeah, I agree.
They weren't able to. So we'll go ahead and see it. But nonetheless, it's gonna be a very
It's going to be a
well.
very week 5.
Yeah, it's a good week 5.
Yeah.
Tough teams.
Both our teams, I feel, in a sense, where they're at right now, is very up in the air. Very up in the air. Very up in the air.
Yep.
Offensive and defensive wise, especially where the Texans. Yeah. CJ Stroud, you can tell he's doing his best. Although, despite like I said, what's going on with the penalties, something needs to change. And I feel later on they'll just finally settle in. Hopefully, week 5, it might be that game. I was hoping it'll be week 4, but I guess it didn't settle in. But
sometimes it takes longer. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer for some teams to settle in, and some teams take a little bit longer. Yeah. Maybe it's their last 4 games. Maybe it's their last 5 games. But winning 5 games, 4 games,
click. Yeah, something will click.
5 and 4 games.
Something
it's still that's 4 or 5 games that you win.
Yeah,
that's still a lot, and that adds a lot to your record.
Yeah.
So even though a lot of people might say it's a little bit too late, those wins add up to how many you have already. 4 or 5 consecutive wins makes a big difference too.
Definitely, yeah.
So even though it sounds a little bit late, it makes a big difference, and sometimes that happens. I mean, the Eagles, the opposite effect last season. They were all undefeated. I think 11 or 10-0.
Yeah.
And then what happened? They lost 5-4 straight games that the season, and their playoff.
Even at that, the jump to different sports. Look how the Astros started off bad, and look where they're at right now.
Correct. So I mean, that's one of the. I mean, different sport, but nonetheless, it could change anything.
Week 5 could be the game.
Yeah.
Week 5.
But I will say that for the Cowboys, I really honestly, it's finally hopefully this game finally shows who they really are, because the Ravens, considering what happened in the fourth quarter, I cannot also be too mad with them. And because if they could have done that, they could have done that all game long with them. They did that to them.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, they could have done. So I'm like, okay, where are you at?
Yeah.
And then here comes week 4, and we're like, okay, we did that. I mean, the Giants, I mean, nonetheless, Jones and Neighbors did really good. I mean, I think it was a good victory, but it didn't really have me at the success that I really wanted to go ahead and show, so I can be comfortable with. But we go back to the same thing. I felt like the refs really messed that up try to control that.
And that's the way I felt. The same thing with the Texans. I felt that this game was it was there, but at the same time the Texans kind of got in their own way. Like
they stepped on their own foot.
Yeah, the score would have been totally one-sided.
Exactly.
It would have been like it was with Minnesota.
And that's what how I feel against this game is it would have been another 40 some to
it would have been it would have been like a 34 to some whatever.
Yeah, correct. So I honestly I felt like they were kept pulled back. So I really I cannot negatively or positively give him props or or the opposite. So I mean, let's see how they do against the Steelers. Hopefully, because them getting a good victory against the Steelers in whatever way, will show a lot in the Cowboys' part in where if they're heading towards the right direction or we're heading towards the wrong direction. Like we're on what side of the field on the fence.
Yeah.
Although losing to them wouldn't be too bad. But nonetheless, we want that win, and that win will show a lot more.
I feel that they need this win.
No, they do. They definitely do.
No. Any NFL wins in this year, but this one especially.
You feel like they can?
I feel that the Cowboys they can, and they also needed to prove a point that
No, they definitely. That's for sure.
Yeah,
that's for sure. That's why both teams. This is a week to go ahead and show. Finally, can they show it though?
Yeah.
We'll see what else happens.
We're meant to be on here on Sunday.
Yes, exactly. Let's see if they can go ahead and do that this weekend. Let's see if both of our teams can go ahead and show and see, hey, we're ready for the playoffs.
Definitely.
Or we're playoff bound.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? At minimum. We give the fans the belief.
Yeah.
Because I mean, hey, I'm always realistic. I love the Cowboys. Never gonna go to another team. Never gonna be another team. But
Yeah,
you know, honest truth, I don't have faith in them going into the playoffs this season. I really don't.
that's what I'm saying. Week 5, get the game. It's pretty much going to establish. I'm like, okay, like they can. Me, I kind of agree with you to a certain degree, but that's why I'm like, I guess I could say I put my eggs and all this in this basket of against the Steelers. It's going to say a lot.
Yeah,
Mm.
I guess at one point I know it's early, but yeah, I guess I would put it in week 5 because for right now week 6 it's the Lions,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and that's another tough team.
That's 15, yeah.
If we beat them both, that we're gonna be singing a different tune,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how quickly we can change things.
Mm-hmm.
Beating those two teams will go ahead and definitely change the tune on us. The only thing is that I don't like is that here comes our bye week after that. And guess who we play after that?
Yeah.
The 49ers. Oh, yeah. I hate playing the teams after our bye week.
I'm counting the days till week 11, brother.
Oh, well, that's what I'm glad. I'm glad we don't play Houston right after our bye week.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, that's the last thing we need. Because that's a good
penalties
game.
everywhere.
Well, that's boom. You're not gonna be Oprah. You get a penalty. You get a penalty.
It'll be a penalty at the coin toss.
He's like, jeez. Drinking water, penalty. Yeah.
Dak for them paying them too much.
David, I was going back to that. Like, it's so funny, and I forgot about this. The CeeDee Lamb penalty on Celebration.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Did you see the tweet from JJ Watt? He's all like, okay,
Yeah.
like, do you want him like to win? Then don't let him like score. Like, well, it's true.
I guess that they got that memo against the Giants.
Yeah.
That's why they were giving us so many penalties.
Yeah.
Okay, JJ Watt, don't let him score.
Yeah. But it's true though. It's true. Yeah.
It's honestly that it's yeah. That was ridiculous.
That was a dumb flag. That was a dumb flag. Either way, we still won it, but like in their face.
But nonetheless, you see it there. You go. I mean, they're talking about like so many things like
yeah.
But bueno, that's just a little, I guess a little boom there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, anyhow, my brother, it's time to get to today's favorite segment, our show's favorite segment. Welcome to another segment called Ponte Pilas. And this is Mijo. Well, we give an award to who's doing great and who's
needs to work on themselves.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Now, my brother, I always have to ask this question because I'm always hoping for something different. Good news or bad news?
I always like going off on a good news. Or if you want to change it up, why
no, because then we'll throw up momentum.
Let's start out with the bad news.
Let's start with the bad news. Okay, for this week's Ponte Pilas award goes to the Houston Texans. Oh, clutching pearls, shocked and all that. And as I said earlier, the reasons why they deserve this raspberry of an award and why they need to Ponte Pilas is because honestly, the offensive line and the defensive line have been doing horribly. And as we said earlier, you need to protect CJ Stroud because, hey, that's your golden goose. He's making the plays. And if you have him injured, like what happened to him,
he goes down
during that game, during the Jets with that concussion, what happened? What happened?
That's the last thing you need right now in this season.
That's the last thing. With the spotlight and the caliber that you have as a team, those, like the way, hey, it's an offensive line. It's muscle, human beings. Why are you crumbling like wet paper? Why are they tearing through you guys?
You need to give them more time. You need to get them and protect them better.
And as I said earlier, Tunzel, hey, if you're that itchy, hey, protect them. Protect them, because how many times, like how many near sacks they had the other game?
Ooh, I don't even. I can't even.
We lost count. That's how many close calls that they had. But honestly, that aside, the scoring that was. The score, the final score of that game, it shouldn't have been that. Well,
here officially they got 2 sacks on him.
Yeah,
but I believe if I saw 6, maybe 5,
that's too many. Mm-hmm. That's too many.
Maybe a little bit more that I did not count. But they were chasing him, but it didn't look like it.
I myself, and along with other people, thought this game was lost. This game was, but you know what? I still continue to watch as a loyal fan does, because we here at Tailgate 956, we're not bandwagon fans.
No,
we're not. No,
all the way.
We keep it real.
To be honest, since it was so close of a game.
Mhm.
With a quarter, when you have a quarterback like Stroud, when you have a good quarterback, I'm gonna be honest with you, anything is possible.
Anything's possible,
and that's what happened.
Yeah,
and that's what happened. It was a shootout.
Yeah,
it was Lawrence versus Stroud.
It's always a shootout. But you know what? That shootout should have been way different. It shouldn't have been 20-24.
Yeah,
it shouldn't have been that. But the amount of phenomenal plays that Stroud was making, the penalties from like Tunzel and everything else was setting us back.
Yeah.
So what does that say? You know what I mean? No, and not only that, the defensive line shouldn't have allowed them to score 20 points.
They need to tighten up.
They need to tighten it up more. They need to tighten it up more and prevent less stress and prevent less injuries happening to your guys. Because if this continues, someone's going to end up getting more hurt already. Now, even at that, some of our top guys are hurting. Tank Dell.
That's a big loss.
Mixon.
Bigger loss.
Pierce. Like, we're digging deep. We're digging deep. And, hey, we're on week 5, guys. Like, football season's like, what, 18 games?
Yeah, we still got a long way to go.
We still long way to go.
14.
Hey, each game is important.
13.
Sorry, 30.
13 games more because of the bye week.
Oh, yeah, because of the bye week. 13 game. Hey, each game is important. Each game counts. And performances and penalties like that should not happen.
Definitely not.
Especially with a team like the Houston Texans and the way they've armed themselves this offseason and what they have, the way they performed this last season. Come on, guys.
You get it together.
Hey, next week, hopefully, hey, this is Mijo. Come on.
It's time to buckle up.
Buckle up, Buttercup. Yeah. Come on. Like I told my co-host here, who's the top team in Texas?
We don't know that yet.
Well, exactly. But that's not like, well, exactly. That's the whole point. That's what I'm trying to say.
I can't say the Cowboys, but you know what? I think we both cannot say one team is up more than the other ones. I think we both had our share, but this week is a very good one. If the Houston beats this week, wins this week, I do believe if they beat the Bills, I'll put them over the top of Dallas.
Yeah.
Of course, if Dallas loses, if they both win, we're back to square one. We're both like, okay, we can.
We're till week 11.
Well, I mean, but that's both a positive on both teams, so that's still good. Nonetheless, still good.
Yeah.
But I do believe, and I will say that I would rank Texas higher if they do win this week over the Cowboys if they lose. Definitely.
You heard it here first, guys. You heard it here first.
Gotta give props where props is due.
Darn right.
You know what I mean?
Darn tootin'.
If football is football, any week can change. But on week 5, if that's the way it goes, I cannot help but say, definitely.
The Texans have what it takes, and so no, and the same thing with the Cowboys. The Cowboys haven't gone anywhere, and I feel the same way. If they beat the Steelers, which is going to be one fun game, it's going to be one fun game. Yeah, I know it's going to be one of those edge of the seat kind of games. So they're both teams are bringing the heat.
Yeah, both teams are. Well, I like I said, I feel like Steelers are more consistent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they've been more consistent on both sides of the field. Yeah. I think more on their offense.
Yeah.
So our defense, the way they've been playing, they need to.
I feel that the Cowboys with this last game with the Giants, they've caught their momentum.
At least a new boost. You know what I mean? Like a momentum, like something to spark him up.
You see it. Despite the injuries, yes, but
because that's the only problem, especially this game. I mean, we're already down Lawrence. Parsons is questionable.
That's a toss-up.
That's a toss, right now. So we don't even know yet. But if those two guys are not on the field, I'm really gonna be seeing what our defense is gonna be able to do to pick up that slack, because that's a big slack.
Yeah. Well, in the end, either way, ponte pilas, offensive line and defensive line of the Houston Texans.
Yep. I agree with that.
Yeah. And we look forward to this Sunday.
Yeah, we definitely do.
Now it's time for the Ese Mijo Award. It goes to
A well-deserved.
Houston Astros, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Winning the division.
Yeah.
And
yes. And proving the point that no matter what, with determination and the heart, blood, sweat, and tears, as I said earlier, and the skill.
and I do it too.
Yeah, and I'll do it so I'll toe. By the way, we should have beat the Padres in that season. That's a whole other can of worms. That's a whole other can of worms for another episode. But like anyway, the Ese Award goes to the Houston Astros for winning the division and showing that the Houston Astros are relentless.
Definitely are.
And I can't wait. We can't wait for tomorrow as they face off in Game 1 against the Detroit Tigers. Ooh.
Get the popcorn ready.
Oh, get the popcorn, put the grills on. Hey, man. Get the grill going. Put some ribs. Some wings. Order some wings. I'm just hungry.
I
haven't eaten. I'm hungry. But yes. That's when the award goes to the Houston Astros. Well deserved. And we can't wait for tomorrow.
For what this week brings. Let's see what this week brings, man.
There's one. Well, guys, that wraps up another awesome. Oh, wait, before we conclude today's awesome episode. October 19th.
Yeah.
Friend of the show. The champ. Jose Luis Infante Jr.
Definitely a reminder he's going to be fighting.
Yes, on South Padre Island, October 19th. He's going to have a bout.
Yes, you got to go see him, man.
And we're going to be in the house, and we can't wait to have him back on the show.
Oh, yes, definitely. We're excited to have him, but even more excited to see him fight.
Oh, yeah.
He is undefeated. He's doing really good.
Yeah.
He's an upcoming fighter, man. You're going to see him. You're going to see him.
And if you haven't been keeping up on them on social media, hey, keep up with them on Facebook, Instagram, the whole show, because the way Homeboy is training, there's a reason why he's the champ.
He's no joke.
Yeah, he's no joke. And we can't wait to see him there in the fight.
Definitely.
Yeah. So once again, man, I'm Rene Garza Jr.
And I'm Freddie Guevara.
And we'll see you, my awesome people, at the next tailgate. My brother, let's go grab a bite because I am starving.
I am starving. How about some wings?
Oh, wing will be great if we can see the Astros game already today. Why can't it be tomorrow? Oh,